Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a Solar Cloud with 3 virtual machines on Azure. It's good practice to hide your Solar servers inside virtual private network so Solar is not accessible from the internet but only for your app services and for you if you connect through VPN. And because creating a VPN can take up to 45 minutes on Azure, I'm going to do that first. So first we have to create a new virtual network. I'm gonna call it Solar VNet. I'm gonna change this. And it's also a good practice to create a new resource group for your Solar. That's why I'm going to create a new one and click Create. Now we can go to our virtual networks, to our new virtual network, and under address space we have to add a new address space for our VPN. And click Save. Now we can add a gateway subnet. Okay. Now we can go to virtual network gateways and add a new one. Here we can change to basic and select our virtual network. We need a public IP address so we can connect to this virtual network from our PC. Okay, like I said, it can take about 45 minutes. Okay, in the meantime, we can start creating our virtual machine. We can use that virtual machine to create an image that we can use to create our 3 Solar virtual machines for our Solar Cloud. So let's add a new one. I'm gonna use Windows Server 2016 small disk. We can use SDD or HDD, but let's choose the first one so virtual machine works faster for us. Let's pick the fastest one so we can quickly configure this virtual machine. We need this public IP for now so we can connect to our virtual machine before our VPN is configured. But at the end, our 3 Solar machines will not have public IP. Okay. Okay, our virtual machine is ready, so we can go here. And we need additional disk for our Solr application. I think 10 gigabytes would be enough for our needs. Okay, now we can go to Overview. No. Click Save first. And click Connect, so we get the RDP file and we can connect to this virtual machine. Okay, we are logged in. So the first thing we have to do is to add our additional disk. We have to format it and set a letter. Now we can go to this disk. And copy all those files. I already downloaded them from the internet. It's Java Runtime, NSSM, Solr and Zookeeper. Okay, let's install Java first. Now we have to open command line and set Java home. Java has been installed probably here, so we can just copy it and paste. Now we can unzip our zips. First thing we have to do is to configure our Zookeeper. Let's go to our conf folder and copy and paste this sample config file, rename it to something like this, and open it in WordPad. We can just go to the Zookeeper Getting Started page and copy this config. Now we have to create a data folder for our Zookeeper. Create it and copy a path and paste it here. The last thing is to configure our servers. For now, let's create only one server and paste IP of our virtual machine, the private IP. So we can get it here. Okay, it's this one. Great. Save it, and now inside that data folder, create a new file. My ID without any extension. And then open it in Notepad and set the content to number 1 and save it. This number 1 corresponds to this number. It's a server number 1. Okay, now we can go to a bin folder and try to run our Zookeeper server. Okay, we have to close this command line and start it one more time. Okay, this time it works. So as you can see, our Zookeeper is working. So now it's time to start Solr. So to do this, open another command line and go to Solr and start it with the following command. So this command starts Solr with the cloud parameter. So it will not be a single Solr, but it is going to work in a cloud mode on the port number 80 and on the foreground, and with the following Zookeeper servers. We so far have only one, so let's enter this command. Now let's open Internet Explorer and try to and check if our Solar works fine. Great, it works. So now we can stop it. Stop Zookeeper and stop Solar. Okay, and now let's open another command line and go to NSSM. We're gonna configure Windows services for our Zookeeper and Solar. Let's copy a path to our Zookeeper. And we can start it. And now let's create a service for Solar. And type the parameters here. And again, let's start Solar. And now we can get back to our Internet Explorer. And looks like all is working fine. So now we can get back to our Azure portal and we can copy this IP and check if our Solar is accessible on the internet. It does not work, and it's because we have to add open some ports in the firewall. So let's open Windows Firewall and add new rule. We need port number 80, port number 2181, and 288 and 3888. So this one is for our Solar on the browser. This is a Zookeeper client, and those two ports are used to communicate between Solar servers. Okay, get back to our browser. It still does not work. And it's because we still have to open some ports on the network security group. So let's go to our resource group, and inside this network security group we have to open port number 80 for our Solar. It can take a few minutes for this rule to propagate, so we have to wait. Looks like this time it worked immediately. Okay, so now we can get back to our virtual machine. And we have to prepare our virtual machine for Azure to create the image based on this virtual machine. So let's open another command line. And go to and execute this command. And click OK. Okay, now we have to wait, but in the meantime we can get back to our gateway and do some configurations here. So in order for us to be able to connect through this gateway to our virtual private network, we have to configure point to site. We also have to generate root certificate and our client certificate, because this to connect through this VPN we have to be authenticated by this certificate. So here is instruction that we can use to generate our self-signed certificate. So let's copy this command and now we can generate client certificate with this command. now we have to go to the user certificates and export this root certificate. We need to use base 64. Okay. We have this certificate here. So we can open it in text editor, copy, and paste here. Let's go to our virtual machine. It is stopped, and we can click capture button here to create the image. Okay, great. The image has been created. This one. So now we can delete this virtual machine because at the moment we're not able to use it. So let's go to all resources and select this one. Just do not delete this image. Okay, now we can go to our image and create virtual machine. Let's name it Solar A. Now I think we can use HDD. Inside existing resource group. And now we can use the cheapest version, A1. And also, if you create more than one virtual machine in your cluster, then it's a good idea to create availability set. Thanks to this, if one of your virtual machine breaks because of the hardware issue, the other ones will be fine because Azure will make sure that those virtual machines are allocated on the separate hardware. So let's create new availability set. And this time we don't need public IP. And let's change a name for network security group because we will reuse the same for our all 3 virtual machines. And click OK. And now we have to wait because we're going to use this availability set and network security group for other 2 virtual machines. So we have to wait for Azure to create it. Okay, our first virtual machine is ready, so we can maybe just refresh. Okay, and we can now create the second one. Let's select the same availability set. And again, we don't need public IP. Select the same network security group like previously. And click OK. And now we can create the last one. And again, the same availability set. No need for public IP. And the same security group. And OK. So now we have to wait for our 3 virtual machines to become created. Okay, our virtual machines are ready. So let's go to our all resources first, and let's set the IP addresses for our virtual machines. We need an IP address to be static because we will set them in the configuration files. Now we can download RDP files. And now we can connect. But actually, first we have to go to our network gateways and point to site configuration. And we we have to download VPN client. And inside that zip file there is installation file that we have to run. So now we should be able to connect to the VPN like this. Inside Windows settings there is a VPN and your connection should be here. So let's connect. There's no password needed. So now we are connected and we can use Solr RDP files. But first, let's go to our virtual machines to make sure that all are running. So it looks fine. So now we can log into our virtual machines. Okay, so let's go to our first virtual machine. And let's go to the disk F. We have to stop Zookeeper and Solr on all virtual machines. Okay, and let's do the same on the Solr B. Okay, let's go to our first virtual machine and to our Zookeeper configuration. Let's open this file. And let's additional two servers. So we just need to copy those lines and change the numbers. And of course IP. Okay, save it. We also have to edit Solr service because we have to add additional two IP addresses. Okay, and let's go to the second server. Open this file. And add those two lines. Okay, save. And let's do the same with the Solr service. Okay, and the last one. Let's set the Solr server. And we have to do one more thing. On the second server, let's go to the data folder and open my ID file and change the number from 1 to 2 and save. And on the third server, inside that my ID file, change the number to 3 and save. So now let's go to the first server and start our Zookeeper and our Solr services. And let's do the same on the second server. and on the third one. Okay. On the first server, open the Internet Explorer. As you can see, we have an issue, and that's because we have to go to our Azure portal and to our network security group. And we have to add firewall rules. We have to open port number 80, 2181, 2888, and 3888. It's for Solr and Zookeeper. And click OK. Okay, now we can get back to our virtual machine and try one more time. It does not work, so we can stop a Solr and stop Zookeeper and start it one more time. Okay, it looks that there is something wrong, and to debug this, let's stop Zookeeper one more time, and let's open another command line. And let's start the Zookeeper server from the command line so we can see the logs. Okay, there is error message about invalid config file. I think that maybe those paths are wrong. Yeah, the paths were wrong. Okay, let's fix it on the other two servers. Okay. So we now can start our solars one more time. Okay. And the last one. Also. So let's go to the first server and try our solar one more time. Okay, this time it works. So now we can go to our local PC and try to open Solar from here. Okay, it works on our first machine. It works on the second one. And also on the last one. So the last thing to do is to create a load balancer. To do this, go to a load balancers and click Add. Create a new load balancer with the internal type and point to our virtual network. Choose a default subnet and type a static IP so we can put that IP in our Sitecore configuration file. Okay, let's go to our load balancer and add a backend pool. Select availability set and add our 3 machines. Okay. Okay, we now have to add a health probes. Okay, and the last step is to add a load balancing rule. Okay, now we should be able to use that load balancer IP. Yeah, it works. So now you should be able to use that IP and put it into your connection string to Solar in Sitecore. As you might notice, there are no collections here, and creating collections and configuring them for Sitecore is not a part of this video. If you want to know how to do that, please watch my next video. Okay guys, that's all. I hope that this video will help you, and if you like it, please subscribe and please leave a comment. Bye bye.